Okay. We're going to call Finance Committee meeting of Thursday, September 18th to order. Could I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Dono,
Present.
Mr. Hess, Ms. Polk, Mr. Seroy, Ms. Weber, Ms. Parker, Mr. Miller, Mr. Hunter, Ms. Foster, Mr. Marion, Mr. Lowy,
Present.
Mr. Llewellyn,
Present.
Mr. Alexander Hildebrand,
Present.
Mr. Long.
We have a quorum? Okay, we have a quorum. Very good. So I see no public comment, and I'm not going to ask twice. So we're going to move on to approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of August the 21st? First by Hunter, second by Lowy. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Very good. We have no presentations on the list, so we're going to move on to new business and renewal of Kankakee County medical insurance, renewal of Kankakee County dental insurance. So I think that's Anita and Mike. Anita, remind me, was continuation of EAP plan part of that presentation also? Okay, so all three of those. Very good. That's on. We got everything on. Good deal. Morning.
Good morning. And this morning this is, in case you have not met him before, our insurance broker, Mike Lynch. He is with MSL Benefits out of Watseka, and he's been helping us for a good many years. I did want to let you know, in case there is concern, we do send our insurance out for bid. Mike does that for us every year. So we do get competitive bids, and we'll talk through the process first, and then Mike will go through the numbers. Joanne, can you?
You guys should all have this presentation in your packet too, if you have a printed packet.
Yeah. It is, I will say, I didn't, we looked at a good many plans with just a tremendous amount of numbers. I really abbreviated that. I have copies of the last 4 plans reviewed and those numbers. If anyone wants a copy of that, just see me afterwards. I can give that to you and you can go through the detail. What we'll do here is a high-level overview, and Mike will speak to the numbers there. And by all means, if you have more questions, feel free to ask. So I just want to talk through first the process that we had. The initial renewal from Blue Cross Blue Shield from our current plan was received on August 21st. The renewal rate was 21.3% or $1.559 million cost in total. The employee share of that would have been, this is just average. Some employees pay a little bit less, some pay a little bit more, but overall, most employees at the county pay 25%, which would have been $389,000. The county share of this would have been $1.169 million. So of course we looked for other alternatives that would be more cost effective for the county. Mike sent an RFP to 4 other providers, 3 of which declined to quote. We had 1 other quote from an outside vendor, which we'll talk about a bit later. We convened a subcommittee consisting of Chairman Alexander Hildebrand, Vice Chair Long, Member Weber, and Finance Chair Dunnell, and we met on August 28th to go through those the initial renewal of the existing plan, plus 6 other Blue Cross Blue Shield plan designs. And those plan designs might mean changes in some of the benefits and deductibles, etc. So only United Healthcare, from an outside vendor perspective, responded with a proposal. There is a core network which is not comparable to the Blue Cross Blue Shield nationwide network. The Choice Plus network came in at a 28% increase, so even higher than what our renewal with Blue Cross. So it kind of moved us over to really looking at Blue Cross Blue Shield plan designs. So we, at that meeting, decided what we would do is lower the options of plans we were looking at and then come back. So Mike will talk about, and we can go on to the next page, right? What we're doing here is comparing the two plans we narrowed it to the current renewal.
Sure. To follow up on a few things that Anita said, two of the carriers within the declinations, one said that they would tell us what they came up with, but it was a 43% increase. And so basically they send out a declination because, you know, nobody's going to pay 43% more. But in any regard, it was based on so many of the large claimants that we've got going on right now. In addition to that, I just got the reporting yesterday on claims through August, and it was the second month of the year that we had claims under 100%, which is a positive, but it's not enough positive to get us to the next step because the average loss ratio is still around 130-some%.
So do you guys remember earlier when Mike says it's over 100% or under 100%? So in other words, the insurance company is paying out more in claims than they're getting in premiums. It's only happened 2 months out of the last 12.
And in that line of thinking, I obviously check with others in this business to see what's going on in their fields. And what I'm hearing back from company reps is that the entire state of Illinois is going through many similar problems in terms of large claimants and loss ratios that are not favorable. And so, hopefully the 98% that we saw yesterday continues on, which will hopefully help us next year. It's not going to help us right now, but if we can get some better loss ratios, then that's how the insurance carriers look at it and then rate the case. In my estimation, it's the usage of pharmaceuticals. There's a 50-some% increase in drug usage in both specialty medications and non-specialty medications. Specialty medications are autoimmune diseases, cancer diseases, all of those relative to sickness and any injuries. In the non-specialty, that's where we find the GLP series of drugs for weight loss and things of that nature. There's a humongous increase in there. We have the most cost-effective plan in the sense that Blue Cross checks these things. They have prior authorization needs and things of that nature. But this is exploding across the country because we now have, as an example, cystic fibrosis. We have drugs that control and make it possible for people with cystic fibrosis to live longer lives, healthier lives. So all of those things contribute, but in terms of pharmacy RX spend, it's about 50-some% over what it was a year ago, and that's because, for the most part, GLP-1s are being prescribed at a much higher rate than they were, and just the advance in new drugs. So it's big, and it's a part of what's going on. Do I see another hand? Okay. This page that we're looking at here gives us upper left hand there shows you the current renewal was 21.29. The increase in total dollars as Anita is $1,557,000, and then she splits out the employer versus employee. The first one we looked at, it got it down to 17.29, and you can see the numbers there. That was about close to $300,000 difference. And then we had another alternative 4, which got it down to 14.5, and then $1 million. So we're almost at a $500,000 savings. I'm just trying to give you a picture of what we go through on the committee, and we look at the benefits versus cost. Below that, it gives you an idea of what plans were looked at. The current renewal has one plan is $1,000 deductible. The next plan is a $2,500 deductible. The option 4 is a $4,000 deductible, and then lastly an HSA $6,000 deductible. And then below that, an alternate 1 and alternate 4, here's the deductibles. And you'll see 15 and slash, that means per family. There's 3 per family. And that, we looked at the $1,500 deductible, $3,000, $5,250, and $6,000. Then the last one was a $2,000 and a $4,250 and a $6,000. And you'll see basically we cut out one plan of 4 to try to get this thing down as far as we could without sacrificing everything in the barn. If you want to flip to the next page, on the 11th of September, we had another meeting, and at that meeting, I gave the committee a discounted rate, meaning that it started out 21%. Blue Cross, because of the quotes that we were getting, and I don't think I exaggerated, but I might have said to them, you know, we need your best number because we have some other things going, gave us almost a 3% reduction, which in this situation, when I got the renewal, they said there's not going to be any discounts, which I was afraid they were that serious because, you know, we're sitting on top of around $7 million in premium, but we've got claims in excess of $9 million. So, you know, you're faced with a major carrier in this business losing money, and they don't like to do that. So here we had this discount, and we went back. So you'll see the 21.3 now becomes 17.71. The increase is down from $1.5 million to $1.2 million, and there's the splits, employer-employee. Alternate 1 became 13.2%. And then the dollar amounts, you know, the increase becomes $863. And right there, just from, you know, a comparison of $1.2 million versus $863, that's a pretty big reduction. But alternate 4 came in at 10.6%. That's 771,000 of increase, and then the split. So we discussed this back and forth. And we came to the conclusion, or the subcommittee came to the conclusion, that alternate 4 would be the way to go. And Anita makes a note here that the deductible amounts, as an example, the most popular plan in the offering, the menu, if you will, is $1,000 deductible. It's a good plan, but I don't see very many $1,000 deductibles, as many of you who buy your own health insurance probably know. So toward inflation, we looked at the plan that would get us the best number in that, and we came to the conclusion that the $2,000 deductible substitution would be the best approach. And that is the most chosen plan by employees, and so they've got additional $1,000 on the deductible spread there. There was another plan that you saw on the previous page that it said plan not available. Well, that's where we cut it from 4 plans down to 3. And there's 20 people that were in that plan where the same plan isn't offered in the future. And those folks will get a chance to choose one of the 3 available. And so they won't lose, or certainly won't have a problem getting another plan. But the one they might have been in had been eliminated by Blue Cross, and we didn't substitute a plan in there. So it just makes it easier, and I think our goal towards getting this plan down worked to that end. Any questions there? Okay. If you want to flip to the next page, I'll go through this very quickly. Your ancillary coverages, which ancillary means coverages other than medical, In the life, those basic life which the county pays for and the supplemental life which the employees paid for, those are both guaranteed through 2028. So we haven't looked at that this year. And in addition to what you see there, Blue Cross also gives us a medical discount for ancillary plans that you have with their carrier. And I think for the life and vision, as an example, we get a 0.5% reduction, and those both contribute to a lower discounted rate. In the vision plan, those current rates are good through 2027. It wouldn't shock me that Blue Cross next year will give us a guarantee through 2028, but we'll deal with that next year. I'm quite sure they will do that. And then last but not least, the dental plan. And in essence, what we had here is a recommendation that I felt was unreasonable. We did some investigation of our own and saw what fully funded plans were doing in the marketplace. They're much higher than our finished rates or our current rates. But in any case, we decided to, they recommended 11%. I came to the conclusion after looking at all this that we would increase the rates 9.11. And those rates are listed below there: employee, employee spouse, employee children, and family. They're still much less than what I see in the marketplace, but we didn't want to take a chance, since this is self-funding, by getting a number that wouldn't equal all of the claims. And so we looked at that very carefully, and these rates, I'm sure, we've done this before in the past, by the way. It's not anything new. So I think these will work well. I hope the employees are not too shocked by it, but I think these are well within the scope of the marketplace. And so, Anita, do you want to finish up with the sheet on the end?
Oh, yes, Ms. Parker. 16?
Today, I wish. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a question. Many of the dentists in the area are not accepting Delta. They're asking for payment up front and then having the person then file with Delta Dental on their own. Is that going to be a problem with our employees, or have they been doing that?
I have never had a call
I haven't either.
You haven't
about.
had-
Yeah.
Once in a while, we may get calls where somebody's calling from the dentist's office,
Okay.
and more so with vision, but it may happen rarely on dental, when I just get on the phone and give them our group number,
Okay.
and it's not an issue. I've never heard that issue with any of our
Really?
employees. Yeah.
I have it through the state when I retired, and that's why when I go to the dentist, I have to pay for it up front and file on my own, because many of the dentists are just saying they won't accept it because of the slow payment from Delta. I received a check within a week after I filed, so I don't know what the problem is out there, but I just wanted to make sure our employees were not having to put the money up front.
I've not heard that in general from a carrier perspective either. Nobody has contacted me. But I will say that this plan is unique in the sense they call it a premier PPO.
Okay.
And there's a first level, so to speak, and a second level contract that the dentists themselves sign for
Okay.
network considerations. This one is one of the better plans that they have, so I suspect what you're saying has something to do with the contracts they have or the contracts they don't have.
Right.
Some of them may not be participants, but I'll certainly ask Delta if they've got any problems in the 60901 zip code, and they'll
Okay.
take a look at it and they'll get back to us, and I'll let Anita
There might
know.
be a big difference because mine is through the state of Illinois, so
Sure.
you know how that goes.
Well, but in any regard, what you said is very true relatively. I mean, the claim gets sent in 7 days, it's not unusual that it would be paid. So they may not be members of the network, and they're just trying to, stay current with cash up front.
Funding. So, and a lot of times it can be quick, and a lot of times it cannot be quick to get your refund. But thank you so much. I just wanted to address that. I just wanted to kind of watch out for our
Sure.
employees.
Okay, so what we're looking for now are a motion for group health to go with the recommended plan by the subcommittee of alternate number 4 from Blue Cross Blue Shield, the dental self-insurance increase of 9.11%, and then once we do that, I'll discuss the EAP just a little bit.
Okay. So could I have a motion to combine and approve the renewal of the medical insurance and the renewal of the dental insurance? First by Weber, second by Llewellyn. Okay. Any discussion? Questions? Okay. Roll call vote.
Mr. Dunno,
Aye.
Mr. Hess, Ms. Weber, Ms. Parker, Mr. Hunter, Ms. Foster, Mr. Lowy,
Aye.
Mr. Llewellyn, Mr. Alexander Hildebrand. Motion carries.
Curious. Very good. Okay. Let's move on then to the continuation of Kankakee County EAP plan.
Right. We switched to Perspectives EAP from our prior EAP program in 2019. Mike did a lot of work then, and we looked for many actually EAP, some outside the area. This EAP plan we've been with since 2019. They are a great provider. I'm very happy with them. 2/3 of our employees that call this do so on my recommendation. Those are the numbers. 2/3 of the time when someone calls the EAP, they've already been talking to me, and I recommend they call. It is, I will say, not huge in terms of numbers, but when you hear the stories from our employees of the help that they need and are looking for, it's, to me, very valuable. It's $1.95 per employee. It's the county, so we aren't paying for those entities that are not part of the core county. They have the opportunity to call and fund it themselves. It's $1.95 per employee per month, or about $1,300 a month, about $12,400 per year. It has been that cost since 2019. There's been no increase in that. So what I'm asking for, there is no contract, so it just rolls on with the same pricing, right? They've never asked for an increase, so I just would like us to reinforce that we want to continue with that plan.
Motion to approve.
I have a first, I have a second from Parker. Okay. Any discussion? Yes. Ms. Weber.
Kim, thank you, Mr. Chairman. What is the name of the company?
It was called Perspectives. They were bought by a company called All One Health last summer, and so it's All One Health.
And they're located in
Up north,
somewhere.
Chicago.
Oh.
Any other questions? Okay. Roll call vote.
Mr. Dunhill,
Aye.
Mr. Hess, Ms. Weber, Ms. Parker, Mr. Hunter, Ms. Foster, Mr. Lowy, Mr. Llewellyn, Mr. Alexander Hildebrand. Motion carries.
Very good. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, we're gonna move on to, where's my agenda? Let's just flip my pages here. We're gonna move on to proposal for fee increase from animal control. That's the sheriff. But either way, whatever's simpler for you.
Morning.
Didn't you give a rationale yesterday?
Oh, what?
Didn't you give an explanation for the fee increase yesterday, or when? Because of the,
Carol may have.
somebody did, the fees.
Yeah.
Somebody did.
Yeah. So Carrie is unavailable this morning. They're out on actually a detail this morning, and unfortunately, we brought in, I believe the last count was 28 dogs, 16 of which were puppies. So they're dealing with that right now. So you're stuck with me to go over the fees. One thing to keep in mind when you're looking at these fees, animal control is not part of the general fund. So all their, whatever revenue they have comes from rabies tags, adoptions, anything that these fees entail. The problem that we've run into now, like everybody else has run into, is the increased cost in food, the increased cost in vaccines, cleaner, and medical. When we have a dog that comes in, or any animal that comes in that requires medical treatment, if they can treat it, they will reasonably. So our costs have significantly increased. I did give you, included in your packet, I believe, is a cost comparison from other counties. Comparables are somewhat difficult because, and I couldn't tell you of the 5 counties that we have comparables for. I don't know if they're funded through their general fund or through their fees. So that would certainly make a significant difference. So with that said, we would like to increase these fees so that we can continue to run animal control in the great way that it's being run.
Okay. I have a motion to approve. First by Weber, second by Alawi. Okay. Any questions? Discussion? Yes. What number are you? 10? Okay.
I have a question.
Make sure you're speaking to the mic.
Microphone.
Nobody's gonna tell me I was too quiet.
Welcome to here.
I have a question on the surrender fees. We're looking to increase those, and if you look at the comparables, there's not surrenders done there. Are we worried that if we increase the surrender fees too high for the cats and dogs, that people might just start releasing them instead of paying the fees?
That's always a possibility. I mean, anytime you're dealing with people who want to give up their animal, it's certainly a possibility, but we're going to get called for it if it's released anyway, so we'll end up dealing with it anyway.
If you can catch up with it, yeah.
Yeah, we normally do.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Donnell?
Aye.
Mr. Hess? Ms. Weber? Ms. Parker?
Thank you.
Mr. Hunter?
Aye.
Ms. Foster? Mr. Lowy?
Aye.
Mr. Llewellyn? Mr. Alexander Hildebrand?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Thank you, Sheriff. And while the auditor is coming up here, could I have a motion to approve the monthly claims? First by Hunter. Second by Lowy. Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and the committee.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Doing well. So before you is the claims for August of 2025. Like usual, fund codes breaking down for each fund code, dollar amounts. Total claims in the office was 617 claims for the amount of $9,566,664.36. If there's any questions, I'll gladly take them.
Yes, Ms. Weber.
Thank you. I was just wondering, how long will ARPA appear on here?
There's going to be transactions. I think Steve could say if I'm saying it correctly or not, but through 2026, there could be transactions through that time frame.
Really?
Yeah, because you had to allot all the money by the end of 24, and the expenses are supposed to be expended by 26.
December of 26. Right?
December of 26. Yes, Mr. Hunter.
That's good.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions? No? Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I just have a couple updates.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and vote. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Donnell?
Aye.
Mr. Hess? Ms. Weber, Ms. Parker, Mr. Hunter,
Just a comment, I like this report. I mean, it just jumps out at you and explains everything. Vote aye.
Ms. Foster, Mr. Lowy, Mr. Llewellyn, Mr. Alexander Hildebrand. Motion carries.
So welcome back, Mr. Hunter. Obviously, number 13's mic is working well today.
If I turn it on.
Yeah, if you turn it on. I'd like to welcome Mr. Llewellyn to the committee and to the county board as well. Welcome to you. Claims question this month was 12 for August. Year to date, 124. The same issues as sales tax charges, incorrect dollar amounts, errors on claims, so nothing major. All claims for August that were pending, or there is no pending claims. I will be sending out the third quarterly report to the committee and all the county board members later on today. I failed to ask Joanne to include that on the agenda, so my mistake, Joanne. I apologize. But other than that, feel free to stop by the office. We're always welcoming visitors. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Colton. Appreciate it.
Go Illini.
ILL. Okay, well, we'll go to the treasurer's office next. While he's coming up, could we have a motion to combine and approve county treasurer's report, the collector's report, and the monthly resolutions? First by Lowy, second by Llewellyn. Okay, voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Very good. Yes, Mr. Hess.
Thank you, Chairman. There needs to be a correction made on the treasurer's report. On the top, it says monthly report ending May 31st, 2025. Should go
Scrivener's
to,
error?
it's
Okay.
August 31st in the writing, but
Okay, we'll get that corrected. Okay.
Thanks, Roger, for picking that up.
Morning.
Morning, everyone. Couple of quick things. Tax collection ended on Thursday, September 4th. Anecdotally, we're seeing it seems to be more late payers. I don't know if it's the economy, but collection is actually the same as last year, the amount, which is positive. This is, to me, a very positive note. This is the surplus auction book for this year. It's less than half of what it was last year. So what does that mean? That means we have less property to sell. We have less property to sell because we have less property we took. We have less property we took because people paid their taxes. So while it seems that this will impact us financially, right, because we're not going to collect a lot of money from this, remember this money is shared by several people, us being the least of them. So we much prefer to collect tax revenue, and we much prefer to keep people in their homes. Does no good for this county. And actually in this book, there are only 2 houses. It's just property. So that's a good thing. So while we're on that topic, the last day to bid is October 10th. We went to a sealed bid instead of an open auction during COVID, and it seems to have worked well. We haven't seen any drop off in revenue. Actually, we've seen a slight increase. You can start putting your bids in now, people can. The books are for sale at our office and online. And they will be probably the end of October before people are notified of whether they won or not. That is, and then I'll leave you with this. The year to date, and we have, and the report probably doesn't show it perfectly because it's the middle of the month. We have 70 million maybe in the bank right now. We will hold that money for the legally prescribed amount of time, which is 30 days, because of our interest rate. So we'll see good interest on that, and so then we'll send it out around October 4th. So far this year, we have collected $430,000 for other taxing bodies in this county in terms of interest. So the money we make on the interest from tax payments is prorated and then divided up accordingly to all the taxing districts. So we just get Kankakee County's portion of that. In the general fund, however, with the sweep account, we are at almost 460,000 year to date. So we're pretty happy that we can put some money back into the general fund that we didn't have in the past. Questions? Comments?
Good job.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay. We'll move on here to finance with Steve. Morning.
Anita and I were just joking that the name of that account needs a different name than sweep because that's got a different connotation in different areas of financial activity.
Do you have a suggestion for a name?
Yeah, just yeah.
We'll come up with some.
Just making some fun here.
So good. We can do a subcommittee.
Yeah. Good morning. We'll go over the monthly receipts. Sales tax continues to come in better than it did a year ago, so it's a good sign. A nice trend overall. For those of you that are new, welcome. But also want to explain the page 2 of the sales tax shows countywide versus and then unincorporated areas broke out. And the first page is both of those numbers together. The second page is how it breaks out. Basically 0.25% and our 1.25%, and how that comes in. As far as others, the cannabis, income tax still positive. Use tax is adjusting, as we mentioned a couple months ago. The state made a major change. Obviously, they took some, and now we're adjusting to what our new number will be here. PPRT is also adjusting. That went up. It had COVID-related activity, and why it went up, and then state catching up, and it's now resetting as well. So it's an update there on the overall regular monthlies. If there's any questions or not specifically.
Questions? Comments? No? Okay. Well, let's move on to cash flow.
Cash flow. So we updated, next made 2 distributions. So those are actual for July and August, and then estimates for September, October, and November. Nick, I appreciate the updated information. I'll make an adjustment on FY25 projection for tax sale. Can't go by previous. It doesn't sound like previous activity or averages will work. So that we'll adjust that down. We see that once a year, and it's very late in the year, so it's hard to know that. So I do appreciate that information now, what he just shared, as we are working diligently on what projections are going to be, and also what the budget will be for next year. Behind the scenes, a lot of work being done. So we'll have a lot of information for you next month. I jumped over, sorry. As far as cash flow, I don't know if there's any questions. Just showing how it flows in and out. We have a 3 payroll month coming in October. So those are asterisked, and yeah. So no other issues there. The things that I have. So.
Any questions or comments on cash flow? No? Looks like we're all good.
And we'll plug in the new what was just voted on for health insurance, specifically It's nice to have an actual number instead of all these estimates that have been floating around as far as, yeah, those are plans, which everybody's been working hard on. Like I said, a lot going on behind the scenes, so we'll have a lot of information for you next month. So, if there's any other questions,
No, looks like we're all good.
All right.
Steve, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Appreciate it. Okay. We have no old business on the agenda. Is there any old business? No? Okay. Have a motion? Okay, motion to adjourn by Mr. Hess. Any a second? Thank you, Ms. Parker. Appreciate that. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. You guys are